We've taken a look at basic masking, and now we'll look at advanced masking, something more in alignment with something you might do in an animation. These same techniques can be used to create eye blinks, special effects, all sorts of fun stuff. What I'd like to do is to have this flag, which has a very, very long flagpole, impossibly long, in fact, come out of this cannon. We could animate this flag to drop and say something like boom, typical animation stuff. So let's go ahead and build our mask to do this. If you have access to the file, you can go ahead and open maskingadvanced.anime for anime. Or if you want to build it yourself, you can go ahead and create your own flag, but then import canon8.ai. I built the cannon in Adobe Illustrator because it was just faster for me to get some of these precise types of paths that I wanted. But full disclosure, notice this nice gradient that's on the cannon. Even if you build this in Adobe Illustrator, it will not import gradients. So you have to come in and do it yourself with, let me highlight that layer, some of the fine tools in the style palette. I chose gradient and set one up. Use the gradient controls to set that inside there. Really easy to use, just so you know. Okay, let's get going. Now we know masking takes place in layers and groups. So the first thing I want to do is to create a new masking group. I'll go ahead and click on New Layer. We'll choose Group. And let's name this Flag Masked. So I know it's past tense. There we go. I'll move this to the top. The flag is already drawn on a single layer. Turn that off and on so we can see that, and I'll just drag that into the Flag Masked group. Now what we need to do is to actually create our masking layer. To do that, we've got this curve here on the interior bore of the cannon that I want to be matched very closely without having to redraw it and get some kind of funkiness going on there. So what I'll do is come down to Canon 8. I'll grab my point tool here, transform points, and let me zoom in so we get a little bit closer and can see what's going on. I'll simply click inside this shape. Too far, I got the cannon body itself. There we go. That has been selected. I will choose Copy. I will now come up to the Flag Masker, actually Flag, and create a new vector layer. And this is going to be Flag Mask. This is the shape to which the flag will mask to. Let me drag that underneath the flag. Since you need a bottom shape for everything to stick onto. And with that layer selected, I'll come back up to Edit, Paste. Now I'm going to introduce you to a little bug that happens to be inside of the program, and it's not consistent, which is kind of maddening sometimes. Typically when you copy a shape inside of Anime and paste it, it pastes exactly on top of where you copied it from. Well, this shape appeared over here. The interesting thing is that that is actually where the cannon was before I shrunk it up and moved it down here. So it's pasting back into a previous location. Don't know why. Just know that if it happens to you, it's not totally your fault. Okay, let's go ahead and drag this now to over here. I don't need to worry about the outside edge here. So what I'm going to do is go to Change to the Select Shape and turn off Stroke. I really don't need that. Let me zoom in a little bit further. I'll come back to our Transform Points tool, and I want to go ahead and just shrink this down till it matches the curve right there. There we go. Now, to make our job easier, I'm going to turn off visibility for the cannon right now. I'll click that, and the reason I'm doing that is I want to get rid of this far edge because the flag needs to come out on that, so I want to draw a large shape, but I want to keep this curve. So I'll come over here to the Delete Edge tool. And we'll just start deleting edges. Now that breaks the shape so the fill does not show up, and that's fine. I am totally okay with that. With this curve in place, now what I want to do is back out, choose my Add Point tool, move it till I see that turquoise dot, and click and drag. Do it again. You'll notice I'm getting sharp points. It's because I have the option for sharp corners enabled up there on the top. And I'll click this back to until I get a turquoise circle again. Now it automatically fills. I'm going to leave it like that. We're going to use a masking option that actually hides that. With that done, let's turn back on our cannon. We'll come to the top layer here for Flag Masked and start doing the masking business. I'll double click on this to open up our options, come to Masking, and what I want to do is say Hide All, which is how you establish usually most masks, and choose OK. With that done, we see that the flag disappears. However, if I grab it and drag it down in here, we'll see it. Obviously, we don't want this background area, so we need to change our masking options for the base flag mask layer. With that highlighted, I'll go ahead and double click on it. Come to masking. And what I want to do is subtract from mask. This layer will be invisible. No, let's choose add to mask, but keep invisible. Or we can choose clear the mask and add this layer invisibly to it. I will stick with that option because that is the mask. I don't need to add it to anything. I don't need to subtract it from anything. Keep it invisible. Now, watch what happens when you choose apply. It still shows up, but I'll choose OK. And the reason is because we have that layer highlighted. When I come to flag, it disappears. And now I can go ahead and grab the flag layer. I can get it back in here in preparing for the animation where that would come out. Really easy to do. Looks like it's a little offset right here. That's really easy to fix. Let me come in with our tools here. I am simply going to grab this layer and move it just a little bit this way. When I select the flag, you can see that that is moved, and we could fine tune that and adjust it just to make sure that the curves match. Really easy to do. But that is doing some more advanced masking inside of Anime Studio Pro.